Hello, it's the Great Canadian Bagel here, coming to you with the second update for the 2021 Canadian federal election projection. I don't know, put more energy in that opening in your head. So, this is going to be, I'm going to try to keep this one short and concise. I will keep my big updates on Sunday, where I talk about possibility space. These interim videos, try to keep them small, and I'm going to try to keep them focused just on changes in the campaign. So, without further ado, changes since Sunday, which has been 2 days. Considers gain back a seat in New Brunswick, which I believe is Miramichi or Fredericton. I didn't think to check, so it's one of those two. NDP lost a seat in Ontario. Liberals gained a seat. Liberals gained a seat in Manitoba. Conservatives lost a seat in Manitoba. Liberals lost a seat in BC. NDP gained a seat, or lost a seat in BC, sorry, and the Conservatives gained 2 seats in BC. Changes. So it looks like BC is rallying back towards the Conservatives, which I thought they were going to do. I thought all the polls showing that the Conservatives were distant third were dumb, and they all appear to be dumb. As soon as the campaign happened, they're all back to Conservatives roughly how they did, if not better, than 2019. Big surprise. I think a lot of the polling in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba are probably similarly skewy, though there is some, I think, reason to believe that Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba's vote percentage for the Conservatives is going to be notably lower because the People's Party exists now and is more established than it was in 2019. And there's actually one of the recent polls, I think it was the Main Street poll. I mean, mind you, take this with some caveats. Main Street is generally more favorable to small parties than the core ones. And with core, I mean Liberals, Conservatives. The People's Party had 12% in Manitoba, so you People's Party supporters out there, maybe you could pick up a seat in Manitoba. It depends on where if there's any vote concentration. Right now, 12% across this province is actually meaningless, but if it was concentrated, it could mean something. But it's a bit hard to say. Like, we do have some data because we know what they did in 2019, but that's not great record of data, so it's hard to say. The other big thing coming up is since the election call, every single poll happened since then. The Liberals have done notably worse in Atlantic Canada, poll over poll. They're still leading. They're still probably going to take most of the seats. But places like Nova Scotia, very well could see Conservatives sneak up and take some seats in Cape Breton, possibly Central Nova, or Cumberland and Colchester. These are all competitive places. We'll see. The other big news coming out the last couple of days is it looks like the Greens are rallying, which is terrible for the NDP because it looked like previously on Sunday it looked like a lot of the Green voters who had left the Green, who weren't going to vote Green anymore, and I'm talking about 2019 Green voters, were going to vote NDP, but since a lot of them are leaving and are now going back to voting Green Party again, the NDP have lost those votes, which is why it looks like they lost a seat in Ontario. And I don't forecast the Greens having enough vote percentage to actually matter. And by that matter, I mean to gain a seat. If we go to here, we can see projections. You'll have to ignore these numbers here. I'm trying to figure out why the graph Excel is doing this to me. But it is what it is. So, as we can see, Greens, People's Party, Conservatives, and you can't see it because it's basically underneath the People's Party, but other have all gained ground, and everyone else has lost ground to varying degrees, week over week. The biggest swings being BC and I guess that's really it. BC being a big swing. That's Conservatives gained 0.6, Liberals lost 0.9, NDP lost 1. That's a big difference. That's a big change. Everywhere else has been pretty consistent, though. Liberals lost some ground in Atlantic, which is important, about 1.7 percentage points, mostly to the NDP and Greens, though. It'll be interesting to see going forward if the NDP or the People's Party keeps growing, because at the rate they're growing here, they could possibly overtake Greens this election. Whether that comes at the cost to the Conservatives, or if that is new voters coming in, or if that is disaffected Liberal, NDP, Greens, Bloc, whatever, switching, is another matter. Very hard to say right now. And you might be at home and be like, aren't the PPC quite right-wing? How would disaffected NDP voters be switching them? Well, when I say disaffected, I mean they no longer believe in those policies anymore. They think they don't work anymore. I could see that happening. Them switching to PPC. It's like, if you lose faith in whatever you want to call the NDP's platform, if you lose faith in that kind of progressive leftism, well, you're probably going to go the other way pretty hard. That's the idea. Hard to say. And I do think, now mind you, my model does have the Greens and the People's Party significantly lower, and to a certain extent the NDP, than polls are recording it. And I'm not saying the polls are wrong. My model does account for strategic voting, though. So, in reality, NDP might be polling at 20%. There's probably 20% NDP voters out there. But on election day, they'd rather vote Liberal than NDP because they would rather the Liberals win than the NDP. Or they'd rather a Liberal government than a Conservative one. That's the idea. So we'll see. Moving over to these lovely little graphs here. It's really hard to tell you what's going on here. There's so much chaos. I think I might have to. The next update, I think I'm going to break this down. I kind of ran out of time today for this. And just start doing the trend since election call instead of since, what is it, June 20th. We'll see. That's a bit more time, and I did not have the time today, but I wanted to get this out. So, with that to say, I don't want to dally too long. If you liked the video, please like, share, subscribe, comment below. I will keep you all updated with how the model's saying, what the model says, and the projections going forward. And stay tuned for more short little videos like this, or if you would rather, I'll try to keep the Sunday videos the more long form, more detailed videos where I talk about more intricate trends and margins of error and stuff like that. Margin of error is the wrong word, but competitiveness. But those are going to be in the Sunday. We're trying to keep this one short. So thank you all for watching, and come and have a good day.